Hey there, today we're talking about pricing, and we're specifically talking about packages and whether or not you should have them or not. I personally have not offered packages for 10 years of being a wedding photographer, and it has worked so well, and I'm going to tell you why. Hey there, I'm Katelyn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a place where we like to empower photographers to build both profitable and purposeful businesses while also letting you in on the behind the scenes of our day-to-day life. Today we're talking about pricing, and pricing, it can be something that is just very polarizing. There's a lot of opinions. A lot of people have different thoughts. I don't want this to be polarizing. I want you to watch this knowing you have the freedom to do whatever you need to do in your business, but I want you to hear what I've done, hear what has worked for me, and then take the whole thing, take pieces and parts, maybe just leave it, be like, that's not for me. I don't believe in that. So in this video, we are not getting into the nitty-gritty technical stuff. We're kind of talking about the 30,000 foot view of pricing and philosophy and pricing. But if you would like to learn more about the nitty gritty, if you want to know how I present my pricing to my clients, we actually offer all of that in the KJ pricing kit, and you can access that at the link below. We'll talk about it a little bit more towards the end of the video. So when it comes to pricing, there are three main things that I'm thinking about when I'm trying to decide on pricing structure and how I lay that out for my clients. First things first, I am thinking about what would my client want? Like, what would a couple want? For me as a bride, I know that I wanted simplicity. I had so many decisions that I was trying to make as a first-time bride. Most people are first-time brides, and I realized there's so much going on in planning. I wanted simplicity. I just wanted to know what I needed to get my dream. Like, what do I need to have my dream photography experience? I wanted simple. Second thing I was thinking about was back to the simple concept. How could I make this easy for my clients to understand? How could I create a pricing structure and display my pricing and present it to my client in a way that is not going to overwhelm them, but instead very simply educate them on what they need in order to have a great photography experience with me? Third, this is most important, I was also thinking about what do I need to offer to them to give them the absolute best experience possible. So thinking about those three things, that is how I came to the conclusion that I only wanted to offer one package. And once I made this shift in my business over a decade ago, I never went back. So this is what I offer. I offer 8 hours of photography coverage, a second shooter, digital files, which I know is controversial for some, but I will explain. And then I offer them an engagement session, a complimentary engagement session. These are non-negotiables, okay? And I'm gonna break down why each one of these is a non-negotiable, which then leads back to why I have one package and I can't stray from that. All right, so let's talk about 8 hours of coverage. What I have found is that a lot of photographers think, I need more bookings, I need more clients, so I'm gonna get people in the door by saying, I'm gonna do a 4-hour package, and that's only gonna be $2,500 or $1,800, and people are gonna be like, oh, I can afford them, and they're gonna inquire, and then I'm gonna show them all the packages, and they're gonna choose my high package. This is what happens. Photographers offer these type of things, but it's offering a recipe for disaster. They offer 4 hours or then 6 hours, and then a client comes in and they say, oh, you know what? I really like the price of this 6-hour package. I'm going to make 6 hours work. Like, let's do the 6-hour package. And the photographer thinks, oh, good. Well, it's not my top package, but at least they booked. And then the wedding day, the timeline preparations start to happen. Those conversations start to unfold. And the client is like, so how am I going to have you to shoot details and get the exit? Or I just want you to show up for the ceremony, and I want you to fit in family formal, bridal party, and all of our portraits 30 minutes after the ceremony, and then be there for all the dancing. And you as a photographer are left thinking, what the heck am I going to do? I can't fit everything into 6 hours. And you know what happens? You stay for free. This happens. Oh, it drives me crazy. We have photographers in our KJ Education Facebook group that are like, well, I just decided to stay for an extra 3 hours. Do you know what you did? You gave them a top tier package that was $2,000 more. You gave it to them for free, and you didn't get credit for it. Like, that is what I wanted to protect myself from. So when I say I have to offer 8 hours of coverage and no less, I know that I need 8 hours to go from 2 to 10 p.m. to show up 2 hours before the first look, or to show up 2 hours before the ceremony and get those details, get comfortable with the bridesmaids, get bridal party portraits done, do all that I need to do in order to have a full visual story of the wedding day. I can't offer any less than that. And so once I learned that and once I understood that, it was very clear to me that, like, I cannot offer a 4-hour package if I truly want to be known as the photographer that can fully capture the full story. Now, if you're someone that doesn't care about capturing the full story, then maybe a different scenario, a different setup would work for you. But for me, I just realized it's going back to point number one. I don't want my client to have to sit down and think, wait, how can I take 6 hours or 4 hours of coverage and fit everything in? That's stressful. It's stressful. And so instead of putting my clients in that position, I removed that temptation. Another thing to consider, just a thought, is if you book a wedding on a Saturday for 4 hours, you have the 8 hours on that day. You're not going to book another wedding in the morning. I wouldn't hope. That would be very stressful. Maybe you would. I don't know. But if you have 4 hours of coverage, then why not? You're dedicating that day. You're getting childcare. You're not booking anything else. Why not offer a great full experience that's not stressful? What happens is that photographers think, I'm going to offer less, get people in the door. But what you do is you attract people that have low budgets. People that don't have the money or the ability to invest what you want them to invest, but you're attracting them, hoping they'll spend big bucks. And for some people, they will. Some people will convert. But for a lot of photographers, their clients don't convert to the high package, and they end up with a stressful situation with a client that they never wanted to work with from the beginning. And it's a trap, really. It's a trap you get stuck in. And then all of a sudden you're not fulfilled in your job and you're stressed because people don't cherish you and value you as an artist or as a creative. They just want someone to show up for the ceremony real quick and take a few shots. And if that's a photographer you want to become, there is a place for that in our industry. But for a lot of photographers, they don't desire that and they feel stuck. And that, again, I could do like 16 videos about this, but we won't do that. We're going to keep going. So another thing to consider, why do I have a complimentary engagement session? Well, because that is not something that I want to give up. I have done a few weddings. So I've done several weddings where I've not done an engagement session. They had it included and they just didn't book one because maybe they lived, on the other side of the world. Maybe they lived in LA and they couldn't get over here and I couldn't get to them. It's always more stressful when I don't get them in front of my camera beforehand, when I can't teach them the 4 core poses, when I can't let them know like, hey, Michael and I are actually nice people and it's really fun to hang out with us. I mean, I think it's fun to hang out with us. I think people think it's fun to hang out with us. I want people to experience being in our presence, being in their presence, and get to know one another so that we can show up on a wedding day and feel like, oh, good, like our friends are here. It goes back to simplifying the day of experience, right? I don't want to have a bride do a first look and then just beeline into like, let me teach you how to pose. You're getting married in an hour. Don't think about that. Let me teach you all my posing techniques in like 25 seconds. It's going to be so stressful. So I don't want that. Let's break down another thing. I'm not going to get in the weeds of this, but in the 21st century and the way that I run my business, I have high prices. I have a profit. I make a profit on every single wedding, and it's a lot of profit. But ever since I started, even when I was a $1,600 photographer, I offered digital files. Now, some people, I know, there's so many different thoughts on this. But the truth is, there's always going to be different points of view. So if you are someone who loves in-person sales and you do not hand over digital files for wedding photography, that is totally fine. I think that model works amazing for a lot of different people. But for me and my lifestyle, my personality, I do not like being a saleswoman. I don't want to give up another day to do that. I like giving people digital files they can save on their own. And that is a whole nother conversation. But for me, honestly, that decision to include that in a package price was thinking about my bride and what she would want, and also thinking about myself. So I'm attracting the type of bride that desires that, and a bride who doesn't desire the files as much and they want more of that fine art printed product experience, there are photographers for them. Last but not least, second photographer. It just seems really scary to me to photograph a wedding without any help. And I did it. I did it for several years, actually. And once I got close to missing things and I had those big scary moments of like, whew, my battery died, I didn't have someone else shooting, that could have been a disaster. Once I had some wedding days that were like, so many things are happening in different parts of the property and I can't be in all places all the time, I realized I cannot keep shooting by myself. And once I realized professionally, I cannot keep risking this. I realize I am not ever going to offer a package that does not include help, that does not include a second photographer. So this goes back to, I don't want this decision to be on my client. So think about it this way. If you took away any of the elements that I include in my one package, it would have a negative ripple effect, not just on your client, but on you. It would have a negative effect on me. My reputation is on the line. So I don't want to experience the negative ripple effect of not having enough time or not having a second photographer to capture the kiss, when they dip on the dance floor. What if I'm not in the right angle? I don't want that on me. I want to set myself up for success in every single area. And so these non-negotiables, it really saves me a lot of stress and a lot of worry and a lot of angst about being a wedding photographer, because I know I have only offered the recipe for a good wedding day experience. And that's your job, to create great images and a great experience. You have to offer a really great package that will allow you to do just that. I could create packages and actually still get what I'm talking to you about. I could still maintain control. These would just be larger packages. So my clients add things on all the time. They add on additional, a bridal session. They add on more coverage time. They add on, albums for their parents, for themselves. There's ways that you could take those selections and just piece them into packages and encourage more product sales, right? I could easily do that. But what I will not do, I will never take away ultimately what I know I need to create a great experience just to have a cheaper package to get people in the door. That has never ever worked for me, and it rarely works for other people. And I know it works for some. Again, this is just my way. It's just the way that I've chosen to do things. But if you are someone that's struggling you can't find your ideal client, you have stressful wedding days, you can't fit everything in, you end up staying longer than you're supposed to fit it all in, and then you're not being compensated, you're getting ripped off constantly, and it starts all the way back with your pricing structure. It's not that your clients planned a bad day. It's not that your clients are trying to get everything from you. It's because you didn't say to them, hey, if you want this, I got to be there for 8 hours. If you want this, I've got to be there for 7 hours, 10 hours, whatever they need. You've got to set the stage for offering them what you know is going to create a great experience. So you may be thinking this is a lot of information. You can rewatch this video, but if you would like me to deep dive even further into some of this information and to help you figure out, are you in the pricing dead zone? Never heard of that term. I talk about that all the time. I can help you figure that out. If you want to know more closely, what are you worth? When is it time to raise prices? If you want that information plus access to my pricing template to use for your clients, we're talking the design and the words, literally use my words, just change out my name for your name. You can have it. It's a part of the KJ pricing kit. The KJ pricing kit has my pricing template that you can change. It's an InDesign file. It's in InDesign format. And then it has a What You're Worth ebook that breaks down my pricing philosophy and it goes more in depth into what I just shared with you in this video. So it was just recently redone. I love it. It's beautiful. The design looks really pretty. And I'm using it for my own clients. I'm booking weddings with this pricing guide and I'm making it available to you. So the link is below. You can check it out. And if you want to learn more about pricing or you want to be a part of those discussions, we talk about this a lot in the KJ Education Facebook group. And there's a link for that below as well. You do not have to be a paying student to be a part of it. We just ask that you are a professional photographer who is looking to grow and become more professional in your career. So thanks for tuning in. If this was helpful, let us know. Be sure to like and subscribe because we are doing new videos every single week. I'm glad that you tuned in. And I know it's not a gear review. It's not editing. It's not behind the scenes footage. It is literally strictly business content. But this is the type of stuff that allows artists, creatives like ourselves to actually make money and make this profession work financially. So I hope you enjoyed this. Tune in next week. I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, I do? I thought you said it first. I thought you fussed and said you said it first. Oh, bye. You say it first. Oh my God. I need some lunch.